So welcome, I'm David Bannock, and this little video is supposed to show you the requirements and what you have to do to succeed in the course. So the first thing I'll talk about are the texts of the course. Most of the texts, the vast majority of them, you can find on Canvas through the schedule with links that takes you directly to the reading for each day. There are a few books that I've ordered for you from the bookstore, mainly Plato's Great Dialogues and Descartes' Meditations. Those books, there are links to all of the selections from Plato and from Descartes' Meditations on the website. So if you're comfortable reading on a tablet or a phone or printing out pages, you don't have to purchase those books. The readings from those books can be found off of the schedule, as I'll show you. There are two books that you won't be able to find online, which are the novels that we're going to be using as a focus for our discussion. Albert Camus' novel, The Stranger, and J.D. Salinger's novel, Franny and Zooey. Those can also be purchased at Amazon for very cheap, or at any bookstore. We'll have copies of both of those books. I will ask you to see one film outside of class, which is the film adaptation of E.M. Forster's novel, A Room with a View. And the link to where you can watch that film is right there on our schedule, along with all of the, excuse me, along with all of the readings for each day for the course. And I'll show you how to get to those in just a second. So this is a summary of the requirements for the course, and I'll go over each one of these in much more detail in just a second. But there are two exams, a midterm exam and a final exam. And there are review sheets for both the midterm and the final. You'll have most of the questions in advance, and we'll talk in just a second about where those questions come from. For the second half of the course, there isn't another midterm that covers the second half. Instead, there are three major quizzes that comprise the second half of the course's midterm, and they're spread out over that second half of the course. And there are review sheets and study guides for those, and I'll show you how to get to them as well. Part of that 20%, about 5% or so, also counts for quizzes, reading quizzes that are online for the first half of the course, and then a couple of quizzes on the literature that we read in the second half of the course, and I'll talk more about those as well. 20% of your grade comes from participation. Half of that will be just general engagement in our seminar discussions in class, and the other 10% of that will be just on 7 debates that we're doing throughout the semester that you will have an opportunity to participate in. And you'll get separate grades for each of those debates, as we'll mention more about later. And we also have to talk about the actual debates. You have to sign up for one of those, and that counts for 15% of your grade, and we'll talk more about that as well. But that more or less is the requirements for the course and how your grade will be determined from them. So to get started, hopefully you found this video on the startup checklist, where you can provide me some information about you, your pronouns and how to pronounce your name, and things that you'd like us to know about you to help you be successful in the course. And then very quickly you'll need to sign up for one of the debates, and we'll show you how to do that and what that's all about in just a second as well. So as I mentioned, 20% of your grade is participation. 10% of that will come just from everyday presence in class and participating in our normal class discussions and being engaged and expressing your opinion and asking questions. You get 3 free absences, but after that, we deduct 5% from that participation grade. You'll get 1 grade for the entire semester, and I'll update it a couple times during the semester to let you know how you're doing and how many absences you have. The participation in the debates, the 7 debates that we'll have, are completely separate. You get a separate grade for each of the debates that are scheduled for an entire class meeting. You get to miss one of those without penalty. I'll drop the lowest of your debate participation grades. there will be, even though there are people who are going to sign up to lead the debate, um, there will be ample opportunity for you to participate in the general discussion and the debates, and that's good practice for injecting yourself into a discussion, which is a skill that all of you will need to develop in order to be successful in whatever career you have. So let's talk about the debates. In some sense, they're the real subject matter of the course. There are 7 topics this semester, which are among the most important questions a human being can ask themselves about happiness, about death, about God, about evil, about the character of our world, about gender, and about love. You may want to note that 2 of the topics here, topic 3 and topic 8, we're not going to do in class this semester, but the arguments and the issues are still can be found online and are covered on the exams. We'll talk about them in class without actually doing the debate for them. This document, I'll show you where to find it on the Canvas page, but if you click on each of these topics, it will show you the question, the 2 different sides, the basic beliefs of each side, and then give you some sample arguments to get you started. So not only is that a place for you to start when you sign up for the debate, but also everyone, whether you signed up for the debate or not, will have to be prepared to participate in the discussion. And since there'll be no reading for our debate days, I'll expect that you will have looked at the basic arguments and issues before coming to class for the debate days where you have to participate. So not only do you have to sign up for one of these debates and give one, and not only do you have to participate in the debates that you don't sign up for, but the questions of the debates show up on the midterm exam. The first 2 questions are the 2 short essay questions on the first midterm exam. The third topic is the long essay question of the midterm exam. And the remaining questions, 4 through 9, are all questions that you'll have to take a position on and argue for on the final exam. So the debates really are, in some sense, the centerpiece of the course. You get graded on them in lots of different ways. So I'll show you where to find the material on the debates on Canvas, but they're not written assignments. You'll be graded just on what you actually say in class, and you'll have to pick a side, either pro or con, either answering yes to the debate question or no to the debate question, and you'll have to present an introduction where you give the basic issues as you see them, and then you'll have to get us started with at least 2 or 3 arguments. We'll talk more about the actual summary of requirements and the actual structure of the debates in class as we get closer to them, but I'll show you where to find the documents that have the requirements and the structure of the debate. But you're going to have to sign up for one of those debates, and I'll show you where to find that once I show you the Canvas page. The midterm exam has a review sheet already online that has the short essay questions and the long essay questions that are from that. There'll also be a shorter objective section of the exam as well that will be true, false, or multiple choice, covering the topics that are listed on the review sheet. We'll talk more about that, and I'll show you where to find the resources for the midterm exam as well. As I mentioned, for the second midterm, it's broken up into 3 major quizzes that you'll take online. The midterm exam will be taken online as well. So obviously those are open book exams and open book quizzes. The final exam, however, is in person during our normally scheduled final exam period. This is the exam resource page from Canvas. It has resources for the midterm, for the final, and study guides and resources for each of the major quizzes. The other aspect of the quizzes are going to be the reading quizzes. They're announced on the schedule, and they're designed in the first half of the course just to get you used to doing philosophical reading, picking out what's important. You could take them, I think, 3 different times, and they're multiple choice or true-false questions that after you take them, you can check your answer and it'll tell you what you got wrong and give you hints as to what the correct answer was. So they're not really quizzes to evaluate you. Everyone should get 100% on all of those initial reading quizzes. They're really just exercises to help you zero in on the important points of some of those difficult first philosophy readings that we're doing. There are a couple reading quizzes in the second half of the course too that are listed on the schedule as well, for the literature that we read, Dostoevsky, and then Camus' Stranger and Salinger's Franny and Zooey. There'll be some quizzes just to help you have incentive to do the reading. So let me show you where to find some of this stuff on Canvas. Hopefully you're already familiar with Canvas, how to do your settings so that you get emails when I enter your grades or make announcements, and you know how to use the coming up or the to-do list. But let me show you what our page looks like. Down the center at the very top, there's the schedule with links. If you click on the schedule with links, it takes you to our schedule for the semester that actually has the readings all linked to them. So every day it has what you should have looked at before you come in that day. So for Friday, you should already have looked at this little selection from Plato's Apology. This is in Great Dialogues of Plato as well. But again, you can find the reading online. And in this particular case, if you click on this reading, there are also links that take you to two of the very important passages that are the basis of the first two debates that we're going to do. So that schedule has all of the readings for each day. It also has the dates for the debates. It also has any of the quizzes or due dates for exams, or also our major quizzes are also listed on the schedule. So that's the main resource that you'll want to have ready access to, is our schedule with links, because all of the readings for the course come right off of that schedule. There's the syllabus, which is basically tells you just all the things I'm telling you in this video. There's a list of remote content, which is where you'll find the PowerPoints for each of our subject matters, as well as recorded videos from past years. If you miss a class, you'll be able to make it up there. There's also this startup checklist, which has the assignment that you have to do fairly quickly, and hopefully is where you found this video. You may want to note that over on the side is the to-do list, which has a list of all the things that are due for this class. Everything that you're graded on this class will show up in that to-do list, and you'll always have the due dates, and the links that will take you to what you have to do and where you have to do them will be right there in that to-do list. So that's your main sort of thing that you should be checking on a regular basis for any of the things that you have to do. You may not know this, but as these go by, unless you X them out, they'll just stay there. So by the time we get a week or so into the course, you won't be able to see the things that are further on down the line. So as you do each of these, you'll want to X them out so that the more current due dates will show up on your to-do list. You can always find all of the assignments, even if they're past and you want to make them up. You can always find them under the assignment tab over here, which will list all of the assignments, even ones whose due dates have passed. For most of the things in this course, you can get credit, some credit for doing it up to a week late, and the quizzes and things on Canvas remain open for up to a week after the due dates. A couple other things is down here are the main resource sections of the page. Course information and syllabus just has the schedule and syllabus and other things that I've already mentioned. Exam and quiz resources, I've already showed you that page. That's where you'll find the review sheet, the actual question for the final exam, and the debates page. In fact, I can show you on the debates page now where to find some of those important materials. The debates, arguments, and issues contains the questions for each of the debates, and then the two different sides, and the basic arguments for each side that you'll have to to take into account are the starting points for our debates. They're useful not only should you look at these if you're giving the debate, but if you're just participating in the debate, you should have looked at it before you come in. And they're also, since the exam questions, the essay questions on the exam are based upon the debate questions, they're also a main resource for reviewing for those midterm and final exam questions. The debate instructions that tell you what the requirements are and what the format of the debates are can be found here. And probably most importantly is the debate sign-up sheet. So if you click on this link, it'll take you to a PowerPoint, and you can actually, click on one of these boxes and actually just add your name to one of these slots. You'll note that you have to sign up for the pro side or the con side already. So you should read carefully what the question asks. Can you be mistaken about happiness? The pro side would say, yes, you can be mistaken. The con side would say, no, you can't. Is death a bad thing? The con side would say, no, death is not a bad thing, which would mean it was a good thing, if you can parse the double negatives. The pro side would say, yes, it is a bad thing. So read the question carefully and make sure you know and understand what side you're signing up for. Remember that page I showed you with the issues and the arguments has the pro side and the con side and their basic assumptions spelled out for you. You'll note that you can sign up as a team for each of the two sides in some of the presentations, whereas other ones there's only one slot available. If you sign up as a team with someone, if you both agree together to sign up as a team, you can just stick your name into both of these slots at once on one of the sides. You should choose your teammate carefully. You both will get the same grade. I'll assume you both participated in preparation. And you'll both be responsible for whatever nonsense or wisdom comes out of each of your respective mouths. So you can't sign up for one of those slots without having the permission of someone, the person who signed up for the first slot. So if you see a person's name in slot 1, you can't just go on and stick your name into slot 2. I'll just delete it if you do that. You have to get that person who had already signed up before to email me to tell me that you have their permission to sign up as a teammate for them. So don't sign up for a second slot unless you have permission. If you both agree and sign up at the same time, then you can just put both of your names in there. You don't have to email me. But if you're signing up, if you're glomming on to a second slot after someone's already signed up for the first slot, make sure that you have them email me with their permission. Also, don't try to stick your name into one of the slots that says do not use. There are no team availability for these last presentations. I'll just delete them. So as soon as possible, you'll want to sign up just by writing your name in one of those slots. Not only because you may be interested in one topic rather than another, but also because all of the debates have to be filled. So if we get to a debate and you haven't signed up for a slot yet, you run the risk of having it just be assigned to you. So sooner rather than later, you want to sign up for your debate slot. The first two debates are kind of special. They happen relatively quickly if you looked at the schedule. First debate is already on Friday the 9th. Second debate is on the Friday of the third week. So those debates are designed to get you familiar with what a philosophical argument is and what's involved in giving a philosophical argument. So there's special incentive for doing the first debate. You get a 10% bonus for doing the first debate. A 70 would turn into an 80, an 85 would turn into a 95. Basically, a B becomes an A, or a C becomes a B. And for the second presentation, you get a 5% bonus. An 85 would be a 90, or a 75 would be an 80. So to get those special incentives, you'll want to sign up quickly. Those slots tend to fill up in order to get those special bonuses that are available, because you're sort of our guinea pigs learning about what a philosophical argument is in the process of giving and participating in those debates. So hopefully that answers some of your questions about the debates. I think I've shown you where you can find the final exam. It's one question. You have to formulate and present your position on what are you and what the meaning of your life is, and argue for it against the views we've looked at. We'll talk more about it as we get closer to the end of the course, but you can find the actual question and all kinds of resources for that on the exam page in Canvas, which I showed you. The other feature of our Canvas page that I should show you are each of these weekly boxes. And if you click on those, it will simply take you to that week on a version of the schedule that also has extra resources. So those those boxes simply take you to extra resources for that week. And if you want to look at the schedule for that particular week, you can jump to it by clicking on that box. But do take a look at those extra resources. Sometimes they'll help you with outlines of the reading. Sometimes there'll be study guides. Sometimes there'll be extra material that will help you delve more deeply. But do take a look at them. So hopefully that explains the material that you need to know to be successful. On the quizzes, I'll drop the lowest grade, so you can miss one of those quizzes without any penalty. You can miss one of the debates, and you can get 3 misses or 3 absences without any penalty. So if you have questions about any of this, you can email me. I'm usually closely tethered to my devices, so I'm almost always will respond the same day. There's a Q&A forum on Canvas. There are office hours in my schedule you can find here, and you're always welcome at any time in my office to drop by up on the 3rd floor and talk to me. And I'm usually more than willing to find a time that you can find on my schedule where I'm not otherwise occupied to Zoom or meet you in person to help you get ready for a debate or work on your midterm exam or answer questions about the course. So don't hesitate, don't fret or let yourself be confused. Shoot me an email and usually we can clear it up or get you some help relatively quickly. So I hope you're successful in the course and I look forward to seeing you and talking about all this stuff in person.